Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me today for a very random episode. I'm going to try to keep this brief, but we're going to touch on a few different things in today's installment. We're going to see a thoughtful gift that I received from a friend of mine in the hobby that I'm sure most of you know. Going to look at a totally off-the-wall purchase from last month that's unlike anything I've ever bought before, but I'm pretty excited by it. And then we're going to conclude with a couple of pack rips to wrap things up. So let's start with the gift. This came from my buddy Dylan over at Double D Vintage Baseball Cards, who needs no introduction. I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you're aware of Dylan, but just a great guy with an awesome personality and an infectious enthusiasm for the hobby that we love. And I've been fortunate enough to get to know Dylan a lot better over the last year or two, and I consider him a great friend now in the hobby. We talk pretty much daily about cards and even other things, so just a great dude. And we happen to have birthdays that are just a day or two apart, just recently celebrated. So it kind of just worked out randomly by chance that we each had a cheap graded card to send each other to wish each other happy birthday. So I have the one that I received from Dylan here, and it's the reason this card is up in the background. That's the 1990 Topps Tiffany Nolan Ryan. And I've mentioned a couple times now how some people in this community have really gotten me to appreciate Tiffany cards. Most notably, my buddy Sammy over at SFI Sports Cards and Adam at Vintage Sanctuary, both of whom have really picked up some amazing Tiffany cards. And as I said, have just really allowed me to appreciate them a lot more by learning about them through their channels. And Dylan hooked me up with an amazing Tiffany Nolan Ryan to go along with that 1990, which, you know, prior to receiving this package, this was my only Tiffany Nolan Ryan card. But I now have a second, because Dylan sent me this awesome 1988 Turn Back the Clock Topps Tiffany of Nolan Ryan featuring his 83 release from 5 years prior on the front. Just so awesome. And, you know, in addition to this being a perfect fit for my Nolan Ryan collection, I did a video quite a while back now on my Nolan Ryan run, and I have all of his base Topps cards from, you know, the 68 rookie through the final 1994 release. But I try to augment those with kind of some special and unique items like the 90 Tiffany. And this one will certainly go right into that run in a place of prominence. Just knowing that it's a fantastic Tiffany card, that it's from my buddy Dylan, sent to me as kind of a birthday gift. And I think the reason Dylan chose it, and it kind of gives it extra meaning to me, he and Adam of Splendid Sports host a show called Turn Back the Clock. Very fitting, and I've been fortunate enough to be a guest on that show more than once now, which is just awesome. They're really the first people that I ever collaborated with here on YouTube. The first live I did was with them, and so Dylan and Adam have really helped kind of get me out of my shell a little bit and being a little bit more social and collaborative here on the platform. So in addition to being just a very generous gift, this will always remind me of the times that I've been fortunate enough to be a guest on the Turn Back the Clock installment. So Turn Back the Clock card from one of the two members of the Turn Back the Clock team. And the last thing I'll say about this one, Dylan was super cool to include this on the back. You may have seen this in some national recap videos, but Dylan had some great Turn Back the Clock cards made up of him and Adam on the 51 Topps design. And he signed this one, "Happy Birthday" to me, and included it in the back. Really happy to get one of these. I think Dylan did a great job putting these together, and I was really admiring them in all of the national videos. So great stuff. Maybe at some point in the future, next year as my birthday approaches, I'll mail this off to Adam, and he can add a birthday wish for me in the upper left there. But awesome stuff, and just, you know, further evidence of what I feel like I'm talking about every week here on the channel, and that is the awesomeness of this community. So there's the gift. Thanks again, Dylan, and happy belated birthday, buddy. And now let's move on to the totally random item that I picked up last month. And it's this little stack of mini cards that you see in front of you. These were made in 1928 and by Will's Cigarettes, as you can see along the top. This is card number 1 in the set. Picked up this entire set. It's a 50 card set. And these are cricket players from England. Now, I don't know anything about the sport of cricket. I'm going to use this as a learning opportunity. I can pretty much guarantee you that I don't know a single player on this checklist, and we're not going to go through all 50 cards here today, but I'll flip through some as I'm gabbing. But I fell in love with these because I am intrigued to learn more about cricket. I just love sports and the world of sports. I'm always trying to learn more and increase my knowledge about sports and collectibles. And cricket cards is just something I had never ever gotten into. Stumbled upon this set randomly while perusing eBay. It was incredibly cheap, especially for a set of cards that are, 95 years old. And what I love about these is the artwork. I mean, yeah, a lot of them are portrait shots, which are also beautiful, but these kind of action shots and these poses with these old school cricket outfits and pads, just really, really cool. Like, check this one out. I don't know. I mean, I literally know nothing about the game, so I don't know if this guy's pitching or serving or what you would call it, but I just know that I love anything this old with this much kind of cool artwork and detail to it. And so decided to pick up this entire set of 50 because nobody cares about cricket. These were dirt cheap. Like, check out this AP Freeman. So cool. So I got this entire 50 card set. Again, these are now 95 years old. And even with shipping, my total cost was under $20. So it's like, I could buy a blaster of 2023 Topps Series 2 or Update for $25 at the local big box store, or I could buy this set of 50 cricketers from the 1920s that I know absolutely nothing about. And so I went with the cricketers. These have full backs on them with write-ups about all these athletes, so you can do a little bit of reading. And again, not sure if I'm ever going to go deep down the cricket collecting rabbit hole. I don't foresee that for myself, but nonetheless, I appreciate these for what they are. I think they're beautiful. I love the artwork and the backgrounds, and I'm just really, really happy to welcome these to my collection. So we'll save the rest of the stack for another day. As I said, I'm not really going to go through all of these, but did just want to touch on those quickly. And just another example of another, common theme that I have in this hobby, which is you don't need to spend a lot of money to have a lot of fun or to form a collection that's interesting. Just being able to get that entire 50 card set from almost 100 years ago for, under $20 was rewarding. And those will look nice in a binder as well. So now for the final installment of this video today, I'm gonna rip open 2 packs, one hockey, one baseball. We're gonna start with the hockey pack because hockey season is right around the corner. The NHL will be getting into action in October, kicking off the 2023-24 season. Really excited for hockey and to see if Connor McDavid, the cover boy on this pack, can repeat as scoring champ and NHL MVP again. He is certainly the front runner heading into the season. This is a 21-22 Series 1 pack. I got this out of a repack box. I am not expecting much, but let's start out with a guy who had an amazing postseason last year, Matthew Tkachuk, pictured as always improperly chewing on his mouth guard. He's known for that, but a really talented player. Back-to-back 100-plus point seasons for this kid for 2 different franchises, and was a big part of propelling the Florida Panthers, his new franchise, deep into the playoffs last year. Saw him play against my hometown Bruins in the playoffs in person, and couldn't have been more impressed with this kid. So happy to pull that. And then how about this cover boy on card number 2, Connor McDavid, who I just spoke of. Certainly the guy who is likely to pace the league again this year. Can't wait to see how he does. We got a Dennis Gurianov for the Stars. We got probably our lone insert of the pack, debut dates, Vitaly Kravtsov for the Rangers. Got a Nick Halmerson for the Coyotes. Charlie McAvoy for Boston. Jake Gensel. And we close it out with Kevin Hayes for the Philadelphia Flyers. And now to finish out the video, I want to open up a pack that I spoke about briefly when I showed a version of this Juan Soto recently. It was an ungraded version that I pulled from the cheese box. They're in a rummage, but I also have this slabbed copy as well. And what I mentioned at the time that I love about this card, it's a throwback to the 1992 Topps Kids release. And here's an unopened pack of this. I loved this set as a kid. It came out when I was 9 years old in the summer of 92, so I was right in the targeted age demographic for this release, and I love the cartoon images and just the fun nature of this set. So I do have a wax box on my pack shelf over here to the left where I keep a lot of my unopened product. And I figured since I had touched on the kids release recently, and I did get a comment or 2 on that video that they weren't from people who weren't too familiar with it, that I would grab a pack today and rip this open so we can see what the design looked like. So this is, as advertised a set targeted towards kids. Comes in old school wax wrappers. There are no inserts or parallels. It's just a basic set, nothing to it, fun to collect. And one of the things that I think is coolest about it, still came with gum, and not only that, but individually wrapped sticks of gum with their own Topps Kids bubblegum artwork. So I just think these are too funny. Love that little touch. And then let's look at the 7 cards. So right out of the gate, we got this Scott Erickson, which has the same design that was used for these Throwback Thursday on-demand cards by Topps in 2019. So sneaky good Juan Soto second-year card there. Print run on those is under $350, so they're not easy cards. But there's the original Scott Erickson that it was modeled off of. And of course, these have just amazing card backs. Like, these remind me of the 55 and 56 Topps backs with all that wonderful color, large cartoons. You get trivia on each one. I mean, just killer. So next up, Len Dykstra on the dizzying design there. Looks like a carnival wheel type design. I'll show the backs at least quickly on all these. You can pause them, but I mean, the backs really are as cool as the fronts. Got a guy smoking a pipe here on the fun box. Hojo, Howard Johnson, on one of the base path designs. So there's probably 5 or 6 at least different designs that were used across the kids' checklist. Here's a fun one, Fred McGriff on like a comic book looking kind of POW image there. So Hall of Famer now, so pretty cool card to pull. There's another Hall of Famer, Edgar Martinez. Looks a little confused here, and that's not the most crisp photo that I've ever seen of Martinez, but good look at one of the other designs. I just love the cartoon elements on these. This was a fun set, and it reminds me of a time that was more innocent in our hobby when money was not really a factor, at least for kids enjoying it, and it was just about the fun of opening packs and completing sets. Here's a Kent Herbeck for the Twins. Then we close out that pack with a Kirby Puckett, again on that dizzying carnival world design, for lack of a better term. Here is the back of the Kirby to finish things out. So yeah, there you have it. A little bit of everything today. Again, a huge shout out and thanks to my buddy Dylan for that great Nolan Ryan Tiffany card. Thanks for sticking with me through the randomness of some 95-year-old cricket cards. And I hope you enjoyed those pack rips just to conclude the video. So appreciate you stopping by for this cardboard cornucopia, so to speak. And I'll be back in the near future with some more sports card content. Till then, enjoy the hobby, everybody. See ya.